Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, all. To begin, the state of the political conversation in the United States can be best described as a dumpster fire. With the 2020 election, the January 6th insurrection, Black Lives Matter, Afghanistan, immigration, and the one thing that we're all tired of hearing about. However, regardless of a person's political beliefs and opinion, thanks to our constitutional rights, one can freely express those positions openly except at one place, at work. For those who are working in a company or any organization, do you have that feeling that you cannot talk about politics or current event issues? Does it make you feel awkward talking about or hearing someone talk about those topics at work? Well, you are not alone. Employees perceive talking about politics at their work as off limits, unacceptable, or even taboo. According to a survey conducted by Glassdoor, out of more than 1,200 adult employees surveyed, a whopping 60% believe that discussing politics at work is unacceptable. Some companies have even outright banned discussing politics at work. In 2021, Basecamp, a software company based here in Chicago, have banned discussing any political or social discussion. Sorry, have banned discussing any political or social issues. On the contrary, I argue that conversations about politics and current issues should not be banned and should be encouraged in a constructive and respectful manner. Having these types of conversations would be beneficial to any organization and to its employees. For my presentation, I will first talk about why conversations about politics and current event issues are seen as off limits or unwanted. Then, talk about a framework for managers and employees to discuss these topics at work in a constructive and respectful manner. There are two reasons why talking about politics and current issues at work is regarded as either unacceptable or off limits. First, there are no legal protections for talking about politics or current issues at work. Although the First Amendment to the US Constitution guarantees the freedom of speech, that protection does not extend to the workplace. Also, the National Labor Relations Act of 1935 protects some forms of free speech at the workplace, but they are limited to discussions about employment conditions, pay, and the ability to form or join a union. As a result, businesses and private organizations can set up rules and policies for what they deem as appropriate for discussions at the workplace. Simply put, why should an employee risk being fired to engage in a discussion about a current issue or politics that could get heated? The second reason why talking about politics and current issues at work is regarded as unacceptable is that managers and other leaders in an organization are concerned that these types of discussions may create a toxic, unmanageable environment. It's not difficult to imagine a situation where two employees engaging in a conversation about a hot button topic later get into a heated argument. The toxicity at the workplace arises from continuing tensions between the two sides. They would hold animosities and grudges against those who do not share the same beliefs. These types of arguments and behaviors can reduce the effectiveness of a group because it creates divisions and reduce the productive relationship between employees. After looking into the reasons why people are hesitant to discuss politics and other hot button topics at work, I argue that managers and leaders should encourage their subordinates to discuss these things in a respectful and meaningful way. So, the question to ask: how can people, i.e., managers and employees, have these conversations at work without seeing fists flying around or discussions about one another's mothers? Megan Wrights and John Higgins provide us with a framework with three elements to discuss these topics at work. 1. Build empathy and respect for others' view. 2. Teach people how to disagree. And 3. Invite different perspective into the leadership fold. According to Wrights and Higgins, the first element to set up a civil discourse at work is to build and develop empathy and respect. Managers and leaders would need to establish spaces and situations where they can informally learn about each other and know about their boundaries and differences. By doing so, employees would be able to learn about each other's boundaries and differences and build enough mutual respect to accomplish their duties and responsibilities. An example of this situation is when a group would have the regular meetings, then the manager would encourage or start an impromptu conversation about non-work related topics such as families, interests, and hobbies. In my previous role, my manager would bring us to Costco for lunch to get to know each other and talk about things outside of work. Even if these conversations might seem minor, they allow empathy and respect to grow because people can talk freely about themselves without any hesitation and allow people to see past labels and judgment. The next element is to teach people how to disagree. It is a normal part of life to have disagreements. In any discussions, inside or outside the workplace, it is critical to understand how to have a conversation about different hot button topics without repercussions. People would need to control themselves and keep it cool. At my company, I work with individuals in very different beliefs and opinions from mine, but I found statements such as, I don't agree with your opinion, but I respect your position, or let's just agree to disagree, especially helpful in maintaining a cordial and friendly relationship with my coworker. I still hang out with them during happy hours. Aside from ensuring a cohesive group and not talking about one another's mother in a harmful way, developing employees' ability to learn to disagree can benefit any organization beyond discussing politics and current events. First, Daniel Kahneman explains that leaders or anyone are susceptible to their own biases. Being able to have dissenting opinion and open discussions about them will ensure that the negative consequences of those biases are reduced. Second, it is also a learning opportunity. Vasundhara Shauhani writes, disagreements also help you think creatively. By discussing the situations, listening intently, and finding the best possible solution, you gain an opportunity to think critically and challenge your own assumptions, which helps you learn and grow. Finally, the last element that Wrights and Higgins pointed out is inviting different perspective into the senior leadership fold. Leaders and managers should actively invite and encourage differences in their own opinions and perspectives and thinking. Managers need to show to their subordinates that they value their opinion and ideas even if it is different from theirs. Leaders within any organization could ask their subordinates what their opinions are about a certain topic and actively encourage them to speak up. I would like to share a process that my company does that employs all three of Wright's and Higgins's elements for discussions at the workplace, the current event dialogue. During these events, a manager or a senior leader would start a conversation about a topic such as Black Lives Matter, the gender pay gap in sports, or vaccine mandates, and send out an article about those topics to read beforehand. At the current event dialogue, they would first lay out ground rules such as respecting each other's different opinions and ensure that people could speak freely without any hesitation. The manager or the senior leader would then ask questions about the topic, and they would have the participants speak about their thoughts and opinions about the subject and have a conversation about it. I participated with several of these events in the past with my coworkers. Although we had very different opinions about the topics, the setup of the event ensured that we still maintained a friendly relationship afterwards. In summary, managers and leaders within any organization have an important role in fostering, encouraging, and maintaining a respectful and meaningful political discourse at work. Our political beliefs are personal and we strongly hold on to them. It is important to remember Wright and Higgins' three elements to set up these discussions at work. 1. Build empathy and respect for others' view. Two, teach people how to disagree. And finally, invite different perspectives into the senior leadership fold. In a healthy society, people should be able to discuss those beliefs openly in a respectful and meaningful manner without any hesitations, especially at work. Thank you very much and have a good day.